Yeses are yes, no's are no's, maybes are no. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amber and this is going to be my first episode for Shades of Amber. I have been wanting to start this YouTube channel for at least 6 years now, consistently saying like, okay, I'm gonna start, and then falling back into this habit of putting it in the back and saying, well, I don't know if I want to share this aspect of my life or that aspect of my life, or what angle I want to go at it at. And finally came down to, you know what, it wasn't about letting it be like something just for fun. Like, I wanted it to have a purpose behind it. And so I think that God put me through different positions in my life and different lessons where I was able to develop certain knowledge to now be able to share in a different light. So although I will be sharing motherhood, wellness, travel, and lifestyle, my sole purpose of this channel is to uplift you, help you to feel your best, to show up as your best, to feel your best, to look your best, how to really take up space in this life. And so yeah, so part of what led me to starting this channel is learning the cycles that I was doing and how to break them, how to walk in my purpose. You see, because it's one thing to have money, right? And it's another thing to be able to say, I'm walking in my purpose though. Like, I'm really being purposeful in showing up on a daily basis, not just getting a check or cashing a check or spending a check or going here or having a relationship or being a mom or doing this, but genuinely serving a purpose. And part of what I realized is that we all have a purpose. Our purpose is to serve, to be a servant of the Lord and to other people. So breaking my old cycles was me stepping out and saying, there are a lot of lessons here that I'm going to be able to learn and grow from. And the only way I can do that is if I look at my whatever from a different perspective. And so that's what you have to do. In order to get out of an old cycle, you have to literally separate yourself and look at it from like an eagle's perspective to gain perspective of what's going on and how to break that cycle so that you don't have to keep learning that same lesson over and over and over and over and feeling stagnant and stuck mentally or internally, like unfulfilled. In order to get out of these old cycles, you literally have to do the shadow work. Outside of whatever it is that I'm looking at or going through, what can I learn from this and how can I grow from this? In every situation in life, you can learn and grow from everything, big and small things. And so what happens is God will put you in positions where he says, here's what it is, and I'm going to give you some options. Yes, no, and maybe. Yeses are yes. No's are no. Maybes are no. So when you feel this feeling that's like, I don't know if I should do that, that's a maybe, which is a no. When you get that heightened, like, yeah, I want to do that. That's something I want to do. And you get excited and it feels good, because that's how you're supposed to scale stuff, off of your feeling. It feels good internally, instinctually, it feels good. That's a yes. That's your instincts. That's God. That's you being in alignment with your truest and highest self. So that's a yes. When you get that eerie, that's a no. Automatically, you know that discernment. You're aware. So that's a no. The moment you hit, I don't know, I kind of want to, but I don't, those are maybes. That's an absolute no. You never want to go with a maybe, because maybes will cost you something. And what I've learned in life is that maybes were always a bit too dangerous. It was scaling coasting that scale between good and bad, where it looks good, but it was always bad. So part of breaking those old cycles is knowing how to decipher what's good for you and what's bad for you, what's good for your high self, what's low for your lowest self, what's pulling out and taking you off into a different path. Look at your friend group. Analyze your friends. It's a brand new year. Analyze your friend group. Literally look, do inventory and see, not in a selfish, arrogant, egotistical way of saying, oh, well, she didn't buy me a present. She didn't come to my birthday party last year. This is in third grade. Look at it and really say, wow, how are we showing up for each other? Am I showing up as a great friend? Is this person showing up in their highest and truest self? Or is this person bringing me down and only calling me to party and only calling me to indulge in bad stuff, and we're only really talking about negative, childish stuff? Or, you know what I mean? Is it expansive? Are you growing? Are you learning and kind of evolving? Not saying at the same pace, but in the same direction. You know, it has to flow. And even in a relationship, a lot of times you'll have a high vibrational person with a low vibrational person. Got someone who's praising God, who's loving the Lord, and you have a demon in the same space. Well, what's going to happen? That demon is going to try to pull that godly person down. And they probably will succeed for a little bit until that godly person says, out of here. So if you're going to do that inventory in relationships, you have to do that same inventory in friendships and within self. And that's the number one thing. Shadow work. In order to break old cycles, you have to do the shadow work. You have to. And a lot of people avoid that because that's the hard part. It's hard to look at something and say, how can I not get in that situation again? And without defense, looking at it and saying, okay, this person did, let's say the person wronged you, completely wronged you. We all get it, right? Person wronged you, but how did you attract that? What did you do or not do that brought that into your life's experience? Because we all attract different things, down to friends, down to jobs, down to the people that you run into at the stop sign. So make sure you're taking that inventory. Make sure you're aware of the people that are around you and the influence in which they're pulling you. Which way are they pulling you? Is it this way or that way? Is it your highest self direction or your lowest self? And it's either one or the two. It can't be both, right? So you have to do that inventory. In order for you to break those old cycles and truly step into your purpose, that's something that you have to do. It's mandatory. Like it's a non-negotiable. You have to do that. You cannot be around or with people who are not good for you. You just can't. They will drag you down. They will drag you in a different direction. And there will be nothing you can do after that. You're going to have to do a lot of work to backtrack what's already done. So instead of doing that, just make sure you're doing the shadow work within yourself, making sure that you're checking yourself. Look at yourself. Look, are you the toxic person that's blaming everybody else? Or are you really someone that's doing the shadow work to learn how to grow, to learn how to love better, to have empathy, compassion, honesty, integrity, have values and morals, to move like that with grace, with dignity? One of the things that you should note is that the people that are sent into your life or any of the experiences in your life are always sent there to you for a lesson. Every single one, big or small. So really look and see. Take inventory. Is this teaching me self-love? Is it teaching me boundaries? Is it teaching me to say no? Is it teaching me to step up more? What is whatever circumstance in front of you teaching you? Because every single thing is teaching you something. And that's something that I realized is like, wait a minute. Even when someone came into my experience that I did not want them to, in a way that I did not want them to, I know for a fact I still brought them into my experience. So what I've had to do is take inventory of self, do shadow work with self in order to keep and repel people like that away from me. But that's doing that shadow work, and that's being eager to learn and be vulnerable enough to say, I could have done better though. I could have tightened up better. I was pushing my boundaries back. I was allowing stuff to fly that I knew I didn't want to. That was compromising my morals, my values, my self-respect. So you have to do that. In order to fully step into your purpose, God will make it where you have no choice but to confront all of those things within yourself so that you protect yourself. That's really what he's doing. He's setting it up so that you protect yourself, so that you don't allow those things to happen again. But if you don't learn the lesson, all he's going to do is keep putting it in your space, in your life's experience, until you learn the lesson. And that's called a karmic lesson. If you don't learn it, it'll make it harder, 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 harder. Have you ever sat there and been like, wow, God keeps throwing the same thing at me? Well, it's because you're not learning. It's because you're not learning. I have friends that'll talk to me and they're like, oh my gosh, it's just like the same guy keeps coming up and showing at my doorstep. Well, because you're not doing anything differently. You're not changing anything within you to attract different. So the moment that you do, it'll all change. So for me, if I don't like something or someone or a circumstance, whatever, I make sure for me to do the adjustments, because I am the controller of who comes in my bubble, in my quadrant. I don't have to spread myself thin and all over the place. When you're a high vibrational energy source, why would you want to compromise your energy with others and things that are not going to build you up, lift you up, and take you on your purpose? You do not want to do that. That's like neglect of yourself. That's neglect of your soul. That's neglect of your spirit. You don't want to do that. It will drain you every single time. It will drain you. They will drain you. Circumstances that will all drain you. And that's not what God wants for you. God wants you to prosper. He wants you to have a great life. But you must do the shadow work. Look within yourself. If you're showing up and saying, I love God, do you? Okay. Are you loving yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Are you pouring into yourself, or are you waiting on a man to do it? Do you only love you when a man is with you? Do you only love you when a woman is with you? Do you know what I mean? Are you being a good friend, or are you competing with women? Are you insecure? Even as a man, are you posting this one day and then turning around and knowing that you're stabbing your friends in the back? You knowing that you're cutting people out of deals? You're not being a good dad. You're not showing up as a good husband. You're being deceitful. You got some weird tick. You're into kids, or you know what I mean? Like, own up to who you are. Face you. Do the shadow work. Own you so that nobody else has to own it for you. So if you want to walk in your purpose and in your path and in your light and stop repeating old cycles, you're going to have to do those things. You're going to have to do the shadow work. You're going to have to do the inner work, because God will continue to put the same lesson in your face. Same lesson until you learn it. Same one. Every single thing you do to self and others, to self and those around you, you have to be accountable for. That's why you don't put out bad energy. It will always come back to haunt you. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. You have to put out good energy. You have to be a good person. And when you're not, just watch, just see. And you don't want to be that person. You want to be that person who never has and fulfills their dream and their purpose in life, because they didn't believe in themselves, because they lacked the confidence, because they looked at other people succeeding and following their dreams and they got intimidated. They got jealous. They got bitter. Don't do that. Be inspired. Be inspired. One thing I learned long ago was try to be in all the rooms that you've never been in before. Try to be the smallest person in that room. But walk into that room like you are supposed to be there. Not literally like you own the place. No. Arrogance won't get you but so far. But confidence, you don't need nothing but confidence in this world. Nobody else is in control of that but you. And because God wants the best for you and He wants you to walk in your purpose, why not? Just go ahead and break those old cycles and just show up as your best. But you have to do the shadow work. Shadow work is so important. There are so many people who are so living in disillusion that they're like thinking the work is done. The work is never done. You're always supposed to be evolving. You're always supposed to be aiming for something more, something better within yourself, something deeper within. Like for me, for instance, I have to do things that are good for my spirit. If I want to feel good, think good, show up good, look good, all of these things, you know what I have to do? The work, the inner work, that's the prayer, the reading, the intentional daily devotion, affirmation, speaking goodness out loud to myself and those around me, constantly giving out compliments. When you walk out, when you go to the gas station, talk to people, give love, be confident, be happy. People tell me all the time, you're glowing, you're just glowing, you're just confident, you're just naturally just happy. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Who are you? No, it's just my confidence. I'm just happy, and I want you to feel happy too. Get to the point where you want to be happy so bad that you want other people to be happy with you. Because the way I see it, I love me. I love life. I have a zest for life. And for me, I love life so much and me so much, you can't make me unlike it. You can't make me unlike me, and you can't make me unlike life. So guess what? Help me help you to love life too. That way, not only do you love life, but now you love you too. So when you love life and you love you, everyone's around you with that same mindset. Imagine how much harmony. There would be so much harmony. There are things that you can do. Take baths. Just take a hot bath in the dark. Just play some music, soft music, not sad love songs. It's about half these girls that are singing these songs are, you don't know what they're singing about. They're singing about stealing somebody else's man. They're singing about, I only get to see you on these certain days. Or just listen to something that's centered. Take baths. Take sensual baths. Be one with yourself. Read books. Be intentional. Say, you know what? For an hour out of the day, I'm going to read. For an hour out of the day, I'm going to pray. This is going to be my me time with God. 6 a.m. Do that stuff. Inner work. Journal. Write it down. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to think it. Write it down. There's power in your tongue. There's power in your mind and in your thoughts. All of that is within one. All of it. All of it. It's within one. Thoughts, tongue comes out. So write it down. Get it off your chest. Align yourself. Start up some hobbies. What have you been putting off? Have you been wanting to go and pick up a new class or course? Do it. Have you been thinking about starting up a new business? Do it. Get serious about your health. Health is important. Half of people have anger issues or sadness and depression and all these other things because of what they're eating. Pay attention to what you're eating and intaking. Challenge yourself. Drink more water. Put the sodas down. Drink some water. It's good for your mind. It's good for your spirit. Okay, cool. Do we all like sweets and other stuff like that? Does it taste good sometimes? For sure. But does it make you feel good? Are you going to the gym? Are you eating the right foods? Are you taking intentional time for yourself? Are you loving on the people around you? Are you showing up in your best? Are you? Or are you like slouching through life and not really looking your best when people see you and they're like, oh gosh, she's like, she don't love herself. It shows. Or he doesn't love himself. Ugh. No, don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you like that. Navigate through life purposeful. And all the things that are taking you down or distracting you or hurting you or all of these things, make light of that. Take that stuff and make it a purpose. Don't throw yourself a pity party. Don't pull yourself down into a sadness and a somber. Don't do that. There's a lot of people I know or I've seen or I've been around where I'm like, you've got to find your happy, your inner happy. It's in here. It is in here. And one thing I will say is stop sharing your soul with people who lack spiritual integrity. Stop. Do not sacrifice your soul for someone who lacks spiritual integrity. I'm telling you, you will suffer behind that if you do it. You will not be happy with yourself. In the end, you won't. I promise you, you won't. Do not. Allow yourself to study people first. Before you become their friend, before you date them, before you marry them, before you take on the job, whatever. Study people first. Fill them out completely. There are people who sometimes do not have the same integrity, morals, and values as you. Why would you dare bring those people around you? And then watch, you're going to be mad, sad, destroyed, and hurt after the fact when you know deep down, if you look back, there were signs. And I know, because I've been there. There will always be signs. And you're like, I knew it. You didn't have integrity. You had little signs. And you'll think, oh, they won't do that to me. Yes, they will. They will. If she gossips about all her other friends, she's gossiping about you, babe. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's true. If he cheats and steals from all his friends, cheats them out of deals and lies and steals and sneaky with all the other friends, he's going to do that to you. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. You've seen her sneak around with someone else's man before. It's only a matter of time before she does that to you. Pay attention to people's spiritual integrity. For me, I don't judge you. I let you do you. What you do is you. What I do is me. But I do measure integrity. I pay attention to integrity in the way that people move, because I believe in karma, and I know that what you put out will absolutely find its way back to you. So I can't be around or associated with people who have bad karma potentially coming their way at any point that I can be in the crossfire. And I suggest you be that exact same way. Do not, promise me, you will not allow yourself to be around or associated with people who lack spiritual integrity. Don't do it. Don't you dare do it. You will be sorry. Because what will happen is that will be a karmic lesson. And you know what that is? A karmic lesson is meant to teach you or mirror something back to you. So that's all that's going to happen. You're going to have someone mirroring something to you or about you back to you in the most disruptive way possible. And that is going to hurt quite a bit. You're not going to like it. So don't even put yourself through the torture. Don't do that. It's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be good. Get the lesson that's out of whatever God has for you, but don't stay in a repetitive cycle like on a hamster wheel. Get off of the hamster wheel. Allow yourself to learn the lesson so you can go to the next stage in life. That's what you want. You want to live a fulfilled, that should be all of our goal. Well, I guess we all have different goals, but my goal, live a fulfilled, happy, joyful, purposeful life. Taking up space and creating so much change and abundance doing it. And part of that means you have to learn those lessons. In order for me to do that, I have to learn those lessons. I have to break those old cycles, old patterns, so that things are not repetitive, So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're taking inventory so that you don't have that same lesson come back over and over and over and over and over. It'll get harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. I promise it will. In order to elevate, you're going to have to separate. So if you want to go somewhere else, if you want to have different results, if you want to show up in a different light, if you want things to happen differently for you, you are going to have to separate yourself. You just will. Old habits, old things, old patterns, old people are going to have to drop like flies in order for you to get to that stage and that space in life where you actually do feel fulfilled, where you actually do feel purposeful, where you actually do feel like, okay, God, I'm on my way. I may not be there, but I'm on my way. I'm headed in the right direction. And if you feel like you're not headed in the right direction, do all of those things. Make sure you're doing the inner work. Do the shadow work. Take inventory of self. Be a good person. Be an honest person. Care about others' feelings. Be a person of integrity. Have high values. Be honest with people even when it's hard and hurtful. Take accountability. A lot of people lack that. Take accountability. Literally, in every situation, just take accountability. People love it. You're not weak. You're strong. Be vulnerable. Open up. Don't just go blabbing out your business to the world, but open up. Open up to the right people. God. Open up to God. Open up to God. Give him your problems. Let him know your plans. What do you want? Ask him. This is what I want. Can you align me with this? Can you help me to show up as my highest and best self? Can you make those signs clear to me? Can you make even the smallest of things a sign and clear as day? He'll do it. Just ask and then do the work. Meet him. Do the work. Try to eat clean. Try to go to the gym. Carve out time for self. Cut out all the reality shows and the gossip. And did you hear? No, I didn't hear about blah, 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 blah. I'm busy. Be busy. Literally be busy. You didn't hear it. You don't care. You're not doing it. You're at the gym. You're at Pilates. You're at the park. You were at boxing class. You were at jiu-jitsu. You were at your kid's soccer game. You were at the garden store. You were at the bookstore. You were getting a Brazilian wax. You were getting a facial. You were getting your hair done. You were getting a Russian manicure. You were at the Chanel store. You were at the Birkin store, like Hermes store. You were taking care of you. You're on a yacht in Santorini. You're enjoying life. No, busy, elevating, care less. Separate yourself so you can elevate. Simple as day. And you really have to figure out, like, who do you want to be and who do you not want to be? Like, for me, I want to show up as confident always, happy, poised, funny, witty, charismatic, intellectual. That's what I want to be known as, you know? Overall, just me as a person, outside of any other role, just as a person. Those were the traits that I would want to be known for, right? I don't want to be sneaky, liar, dumb, shallow, naive, lack of integrity, lack of values, lack of morals, lack of respect. Those are things I don't want, right? So what I try to do is make sure I'm, instead of paying attention to what I don't want to be only, just diving into the things that I do want to be and just doing them every day, just showing up every day, doing and being those things, right? And then I look around and I say, without judgment, I don't want to be like that. And I don't want to do that. That kind of looked bad. I don't even know if she knows that. Don't want to do that. Ooh, yeah, no. But that right there, that looks like something I want to do. That's a great trait. I would want to be like that. Really look and figure out, who do you want to be and who do you not want to be? Figure that out. Who do you want to be? Who do you not want to be? If you don't want to be a liar and a thief, don't. If you don't want to be a woman who lets men use and abuse her, then don't. Love yourself, boundaries, self-respect, just showing up with the traits that you want for yourself. You deserve it, so why not do it? It's not like a long drawn out thing. It's literally like a snap of the finger and you just do it. You just show up as that person, you know? With a lot of people that I've been around that have lacked confidence, and I talk to them, I'm like, just love yourself, you know? And they're like, oh, I can't, I just don't feel so confident. It's like, you don't even see what I see. Like, it's literally just a snap of that finger, and then you're there. Once you believe it, everyone else is going to believe it with you. You just have to love yourself enough to give yourself that much. But if you feel like you don't deserve it, then guess what? It's going to show up within doubt. That doubt will show. Everyone around you will feel that doubt. You ever been in a room and you're like, it's a bunch of girls and they're like, oh, look at her. She thinks she just loves herself. Well, she does love herself, and you're mad that you don't. She loves herself, and those girls over there talking about her are mad that they don't love themselves. It's just projection. You just wish that your level of confidence was high like hers. So her walking in the room, loving herself, made you very uncomfortable. Your demons were disturbed. Same thing for a guy. Guy walking like, oh, he just tries to sleep with all the girls. Oh, we have a hater in the bunch. We have someone who's mad that this guy over here is getting all the girls and he's being overlooked. Don't let people read you like that. Because people like me will read you like a book, like chess, stuff like that. Whatever you're saying, whatever coming out of your mouth, that's somewhat going to be a projection for that other person that you're saying something about, unwarranted. And when you do that shadow work, do not go back to energy that you know is going to bring you down. That's a low vibrational energy. Why would you want to do that? Why? Don't do that. If you do that work to get out of a space that you know was not a good friendship or a good relationship or a good job or a good environment, why on earth would you go back to that? Keep your space positive, high vibrational, loving. If you do the work, all the shadow work to have and provide a good energy for yourself, do not cheat yourself by allowing yourself to go back around things or people, environments that were not good for you. That's you not listening to your discernment, and that's you neglecting your relationship with God, your walk with Him, and your way of saying, I trust you. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to your relationship with God and your walk with Him in this life. You don't want to do that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I will be posting, what's today? Friday. I'll post again on Sunday. I'm going to post this video tonight or this morning and then record and post again on Sunday. So you'll get like some mom content, wellness, travel, brain food, all that good stuff, health, fitness, that stuff. But for now, no matter what, one video a week will absolutely be something along the lines of things like this, like empowerment and helping you with mental health and self-love, self-discovery, and yeah, just giving you guys a safe space where you can grow and learn and we can share. I mean, that's what life is basically we're all walking each other home, and no one person is here on this planet without a relation to someone else in some capacity of life experiences. So if you've gone through something, more than likely other people have too. I've normally been extremely private, but this will be fun to open up and be extremely vulnerable now and help a lot of people along the way. So yeah, anyways, I need to go to bed. Thank you guys for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye.